Dire team pick.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Western Digital Pro Series presentation of Orange versus Mineski. This is the quarterfinals of Series 1, and it is a best-of-1 game between these two teams. My goodness, have we been waiting a long time for this match. It's much anticipated, not just because of the caliber of the teams, but because we've been waiting in the lobby for 45 minutes. So, had some fun with the Twitch chat, and yeah, feel like we made some real progress on our chat experience, but now we're moving forward with the game, with the draft, and I can't wait to see what these teams are bringing to it. NMA drafting for Mineski, and Winter is drafting for Orange Esports. So starting off, we see that despite having first pick, Orange will be banning out both the Lycan and the Ancient Apparition, whereas Mineski are banning out the Invoker and the Dazzle. But the reasoning behind it is Orange's favorite hero here, Batrider. No surprise whatsoever for them to pick it up first. It's essentially his best hero. So, I mean, if you got to be good at one hero, Batrider is certainly one of those that are up there no matter what meta you're in. And we'll see how formidable he can run with it on the offlane. In the meantime, they are going to be picking up their support for their second pick in Phase 1. And Mineski is going to go with a completely different opener, going with the Centaur for their offlane selection so that they don't have to worry about a dual offlane ban. Looks like Furion will be taken off the board anyways, but, you know, that's just because of the variability of Centaur's laning. Anyways, beyond that, they have picked up the Shadow Shaman. Rasta will be running on the safe lane support role. Presumably at the very least. I mean, we have seen him mid in the past, but since his movement speed nerfs, it just doesn't seem nearly as viable. Anyways, happy to get into the draft, but I forgot to introduce myself. I myself am Blaze of Dota Talk, and I would like to thank you guys for joining me either belatedly in Dota TV with the in-game ticket, available with a Undying HUD and Ward in the Dota 2 store now. And beyond that, thank you guys in the Twitch chat, hanging out and having some fun and, you know, keeping yourselves entertained in your own special way. So, very fun times. Anyways, game on. Let's see here. Phase 2, Furion and Nyx both banned out. It's almost like they think the Centaur is going to be in a different role, like in the safe lane as a carry or in the mid, I don't know, but the Nyx and Nature's Prophet ban in this meta is more of a dual offlane ban. And I really don't think that's how Mineski are going to run the Centaur. Centaur's probably going to be in the offlane, and then Naga will take up the mid or the carry. But anyways, I mean, there's lots of different ways it can play itself out. We'll see how it goes. But for right now, the bans are going to be Doom and Slark. Pretty wise, considering Insidiously is one of the best jungle Dooms out there. As far as core Dooms, obviously, there's different ways to run it, but Insidiously specifically, like, he has great jungle timings with the Doom. He gets a Blink Dagger insanely fast, and then he loves to initiate with those War Stomps. So they don't want to have to deal with two Centaurs on the board. The Doom Pseudo with his Devour, and Centaur, of course, with his own primary abilities there. But yeah, beyond that, the Slark ban, it's a respect ban to XXO a little bit. Sox is whatever he wants his name to be called. He doesn't even know, really. But yeah, he is a very, very good Slark player, and it's a appropriate ban, I would say. I mean, it definitely, when you look at the ground target disables, right now they only have the Hoof Stomp. The Shadow Shaman really doesn't have much that can deal with Slark when he's either got his Dark Pact up or he's in his Shadow Dance. In the meantime, Orange, they're going to be picking up the Sand King, and that is going to set them up for some very devastating magical damage in the team fights. And we'll have to see how that plays itself out, if they can get the initiation that they're looking for as we progress into the mid game and the Blink Daggers start coming online. Pardon me there. Good stuff. Anyways, Blink Dagger is going to be very important for both sides. Centaur, War Runner, and even Shadow Shaman can pick up a Blink Dagger at a pretty good time to really enable their initiation to be on point. Beyond that, the Batrider, of course, needs one, and Sand King just becomes a whole new hero with it, either with the Blink Burrow or even with the Epi Shift Queued into Blink setup there. So, really cool stuff. But I'm not really sure how Mineski are going to answer back with this. I mean, right now, as far as the matchup goes, I would say that Orange are most likely favored. I mean, the way that they've been playing it, they are extremely formidable, they have really well-balanced lanes, and they have just dominant strategy overall. And so they are really on the rise in the Southeastern Asian scene since their, about a month ago, roster shift. But that being said, I mean, I love to watch some Mineski Dota, Pinoy Dota at its finest. Some very aggressive play, some very active engagements, and of course showing the strength of their new roster as well. The reason that I'm almost pulling for Mineski to win is because this best of one eliminates them from Series 1, whoever loses. So if you enjoy watching Mineski Dota and their crazy playstyle, then you want them to advance just to see them play another round. But only one will go through. It's kind of the Highlander here. There can only be one, and either one of these two teams has a chance to take it. In a best of one, anything can happen, and I really am excited to see what they bring to the table in these next few picks. 15 seconds left on the bonus time. A lot of consideration coming in from NMA, but you have to make a call, man. We're going to go with the puck, so a lot of potential there. I mean, they have a couple of players that can run the puck, and they have been shifting up their roles a little bit here and there. But the bottom line is they're going to be facing a very tough lane matchup up against this OD. Puck walk right into that OD pick, and it's very difficult. OD isn't as strong as he used to be. The range nerf on his Astral Imprisonment, the base damage nerf a while back, both those contributing to Puck's potential success in the lane, but all in all, he is going to be limited on how many spells he can cast and how effectively he can trade for last hits, so it's going to take some finagling in order to make this lane composition work. And the thing is, Orange can do this without feeling greedy. They've already got a utility pickup as their offlaner. It's not like they're running like a Clinks or a Weaver offlane. They're picking something that can fight in the early to mid game. Along with that, Venomancer and Sand King are very active supports. The OD pickup isn't greedy at all. It actually is kind of exactly what they were looking for. A little bit of extra oomph, some good burst magical, and some good follow through with those auto attacks. So I really do like Orange's draft to this point. Ysera probably going to dominate the mid lane on that OD, but we have seen some teams running it in a different scenario. For some reason, I can't honestly give enough analytical reasoning behind it, but they've been opting to run the OD in a safe lane role. Like, he gets a Basilius, and he gets just some continued sustained regen, because he, of course, won't be spamming out his Astral Imprisonment against any opponents. The offlane are going to be hiding underneath his tower, but I don't know, I guess it's just to get that early Midas up, to get some early gold and experience momentum on OD, uncontested, without having to worry about rotating ganks. But I really hope that's not how Orange runs it. I think they can do so much work with the OD in the mid lane, and we'll see how it plays itself out. In the meantime, it is going to be a core Naga Siren here. We've got Centaur, Naga, and Puck as the cores for Mineski, and leaving Shadow Shaman and Crystal Maiden as the supports. A lot of lockdown here. If you consider ways to interrupt the epicenter, you've got Hex, which is essentially instantaneous. Frostbite's pretty close to it as well. They've also got the Shackles long term. And when you consider the stuns that Orange have, if Batrider is not participating, the only stuns you're really looking at is the Astral Imprisonment, which is easy to catch on cooldown. Early on, it's 18-16 seconds. And then the Burrow Strike. So you look at Shadow Shaman, if he goes in for a Shackles on Sand King, and OD doesn't have Prison or isn't in the picture at all, then honestly Mineski has a significant upper hand since Venom doesn't contribute much. But that depends on their carry selection. Right now it's going to be a Morphling ban against Sox. Might still go for the Weaver. Pretty common pickup for him. But we'll see. We'll see. Patience, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get on into the game in just a moment here. I know you guys have been waiting for it for quite some time. I've been anticipating it quite a bit as well. It is going to be a lifestealer selection here, and I do like that. I mean, you look at it, the Ensnare is going to be a bitch, but that's a carry Naga Siren, so she's mostly going to be focused on using her illusions, dealing damage as much as possible. Beyond that, the Rage is amazing against everything that Mineski brings. Centaurs is one of the few ultimates that is nullified by magic immunity. Shadow Shaman and Crystal Maiden, their disables are both magic-based. And, of course, the Puck's Dream Coil and damage can be nullified entirely by that Rage state. So it's going to be important how he uses his cooldown, the timing of it. Of course, 6-second duration, 19 seconds of cooldown. Sox is going to have to be cautious about it, but if he uses it appropriately, he definitely has a lot of potential. And on top of that, of course, you get the Neg Spawn potential with the Batrider. Already a gank-oriented mindset from Winter on the Batrider. As soon as he picks up that Blink Dagger, add in some extra burst damage on top of that, and he'll be feeling just swell about himself. And there's a lot of squishy heroes they can focus fire down. Even the Naga Siren could be bursted before she gets the Song of the Siren off in the right situation. But we'll talk about that as time goes by. Meantime, gonna introduce the lanes and the teams as we see some interesting matchups going through, specifically with this presumably safe lane solo Naga Siren. But anyways, I'll do my best with the names here. Of course, Mineski loves to mess with their screen tags a little bit, so might be difficult, but I'll do my best. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to the Western Digital Dota 2 Pro Series. This is a relatively new tournament with, in my opinion, a great format. Just best of ones for the quarterfinal, best of threes for the semifinal, going on into a best of 5 in the grand final single elimination. And in turn, we are looking just in round 1 of Series 1, the final game in the quarterfinals to decide who advances to take on, I'm trying to remember who won the last series, but I can't recall. They took down Myth Trust, that's for sure. I can't believe I'm blanking on that. But anyways, Arrow Gaming, I believe. Anyways, looking at the players, we do see on the side of Mineski, in the corner of the Radiant, it is going to be Oa running on this Crystal Maiden. Full support build, essentially, just some tangos. NMA is going to be supporting on the Shadow Shaman with Boots first. And it is going to be a tri-lane, I believe. An aggressive tri-lane? Yeah, this ward could be played either way. They could still go with the Suicide Lane Centaur War Runner, but unless he supports skedaddle quickly, I'm not sure if they're... Okay, they aren't setting up shop. It is going to be a solo offlane Centaur War Runner. Jesse Vash is going to be taking up that mantle. And it is going to be him just kind of doing a good little block here, letting the range creep go and die first. Along with that, the pull isn't blocked, but at least they have vision of the flank to gank from the supports. Anyways, Oa getting some good wards up here on the Crystal Maiden. Some good rotations coming through. I thought they were going to go for First Blood on OD, but looking at Dire Vision, it just doesn't seem that viable. They had this Observer Ward in place, now being taken out by Oa, but without a smoke at a seat, there's no way they bring down Ysera for level 1. Anywho, finishing up the introductions, we do see that this is... Killing me, guys. This is Geo on the Puck, starting off with that Null Talisman, and on the bottom lane, of course, it is Jay on that Naga Siren. So he's going to be getting some assistance from NMA to try to bring down Winter here, and I think with the Shackles, this is your first blood, ladies and gentlemen. Going the way of the Naga Siren, starting him off very strong here. Beyond that, looking over the side of Orange, feeding First Blood is the Boots first Bat Rider, that is Winter. Venomancer, played by Sharky here. Just trying to control the lane against the Centaur as best they can, but a tough cookie to crack right here. OD, going to be played by Ysera, going for a bottle build on this OD just to control the lane as much as possible. We'll see how effective the rune control is as the supports roam. In the meantime, I'm going to miss out on a kill opportunity there. They end up getting no Gale, just a straight Burrow Strike and Open Wounds, and they're able to bring down the Centaur, who has Boots first. That's a bit of a misplay by Jesse Vash. I mean, they didn't even need the Gale, but they're just willing to take a few tower hits, and were able to bring him down. So, nice play on their part, of course. Illusion. Did I miss anybody? Soxes is on the lifesteal, and Sidious C is going to be mostly stacking on this Sand King. He'll do some pulls, he'll get level 2, level 3 Darude, and then maybe he's going to be stacking up camps like this so that he can go ahead and jump towards level 4 and 5 and become more active across the map. Some jungling coming out from Oa. Of course, the rank 1 Frostbite being impeccable for jungling against the larger neutral creeps. And yeah, we'll see both sides getting kind of the farm they need for the most part here. 1 death from each offlaner. Not the end of the world. And beyond that, looking over the carry CS. We do see it's 10 for 6 for the Naga Siren and 9 for 3 for the Lifestealer. So, of course, Jay doing better with that First Blood, but we'll see what he does with it. He's going to go for a Radiance buildup, or does he have other plans in mind? So, kind of quiet, to be honest. I mean, the Bat Rider has to play extremely cautiously here. Winter right now is sitting on 230 experience per minute, but even lower is the Centaur at 190. He is going to get some nice juicy gold and experience from these creeps here under the tower. Actually hitting all 3 CS that I caught my eye on. That's actually really good for Jesse Vash. He's going to be able to move in towards Blink Dagger at a pretty good timing. Yeah, I mean, 150 gold, 150 gold, it doesn't seem like that much, but, I mean, that's That's a lot of seconds off of your just unreliable gold timer for there. In the meantime, Sharky just looking for some advanced zoning. He has a 1-1-1 build-up to really make sure Jesse Vash doesn't have any hope. And with Ysera coming in with the Prisonment, if the Centaur went to try to control the top rune, he probably would have been feeding another kill. In the end, the rune spawn will be bottom, and that will go in favor of Oa here, invising towards the mid lane. Just checking out the ward status here. Of course, we have a great observer ward placed by Winter himself. Was able to put it right here, blocking off this camp. And look at these sentry wards. They really wanted this pull camp open. You can tell by just how adamant they are about these sentries, but to no avail. They won't find the observer. And that's going to give some opportunity for Batrider to, of course, get his level 3. And from there, he will be able to jungle. So stacking up some camps, napalming Firefly. If only these weren't mud golems, he'd be looking pretty good right now. Anyways, Invis is about to expire. Not much. Oh no, Oa walking right into a bad spot. The smoke expires, but the Gale will come through at the perfect time. If Gale connects, this is a dead Oa, and there's not enough reinforcements to make this happen. They might try, but look, Burrow's Strike connects, and that's one dead hero. Looking for 2 if they follow through with this. Like, what can you do in that situation? Brutal. Just that perfect timing. Accidentally finding an easy kill with that smoke movement. So, pinging out a little bit of a argument through the pings. You guys know that from your pub Dota, I'm sure, but it's interesting to see the pro players go back and forth a little bit here and there. Anyways, currently 2 for 1 in favor of Orange Esports, but we'll have to see how active Sox is going to be with the space that has been created. Right now, there's going to be some more roaming, another smoke coming through. Rank 2 Burrow Strike, and this should be a kill on Jesse Vash, but we'll see just how much he can tank up in this offlane scenario.
Radiance top tower
Dire Ward in place. Full vision on Jesse Vash, but is Lifestealer willing to dive past the tower here is the question. And yeah, here we go. This is the time. XXO, Jesse Vash realizes something's wrong, but too little too late. Big damage coming from the Gale, the open wounds. He tries to go for the hoof stomp, but in the end, he still will fall. So nice little pick off there. Lifestealer getting another kill on the board. And Batrider just continuing his jungle spree with the bottle now in place. Mineski is smoked up, so was Oa, but it's a 1-1-1 level 3 Crystal Maiden. The two of them just don't have the damage potential to get any guaranteed kills. So, one nice thing that's happening for Mineski, one thing that's really going up their way is the fact that they have been providing tons of space for Jay. Jay has been farming on this solo safe lane, completely uncontested, 1 versus 0. Now we're going to see some action, silence, and the Frostbite to bring down the Sand King. Very nice. But yeah, they get a kill, they try to even things up a little bit, and most importantly, yeah, Naga Siren is just having her way with this lane. If the Batrider gets like perfect stacks off, he can kind of make that okay, since of course Lifestealer is dominant of the top lane. But you see Winter, he's having some issues with his build up here. He's still level 5. He doesn't really have that high of a net worth, currently at 1700. And you look at his jungle state, doing a little bit of clearing here. But yeah, you look at his jungle state, mud golems here, no stacks. I mean, what can he really do? The transition has just been very, very weak for him. And he feels safe to farm now down bottom with the supports roaming so actively. But that isn't really doing him any favors now that he's up against a level 7 Naga Siren. I actually really like this movement from Mineski supports, and I guess the puck in this case, not really a support, but yeah, controlling the jungle is actually really important here, making sure the Sand King doesn't get big through Sandstorm stacks or the Batrider through his Firefly. If they control the jungle, they control the early game, and right now they're doing a really good job of that. Shadow Shaman gets some good solo experience to move in towards those Mass Serpent wards, and Puck, of course, got a kill under his belt, currently sitting 1-0-0. Shadow Shaman is going to snipe up the regen rune, and although there's a nip on the bud with that, Prisonment is going to be the follow through from the supports to make it worth their while. Enemy casts all the spells he can, but he was just completely in no man's land. In the meantime, this Orb of Venom plus Open Wounds doing some good work against the Centaur. Does have the Tranquil Boots, so as long as he doesn't auto attack, he will be able to heal up, but it's a hard decision. Go for the gold or go for the HP. Oh, very nice play from Jesse Vash. And since there's no action, I'll go into that a little bit. It's like the way that Blink Dagger works with the instance of damage. When you drop an item on the ground, attacking or being attacked, specifically with Tranquil Boots, does not reset the cooldown to break them. So they still were on cooldown for a few more seconds, but when they're on the ground, if he attacks a creep, that doesn't put them on cooldown further. So he picked him back up. 2 seconds later, he was getting that full HP regen, and that's actually a really smooth play. Now, I'm sure there's a better way to explain that, but most of you guys know how Tranquil works, and in this case, just saying that risking the item on the ground for getting essentially like a couple of hundred extra free HP, it's a really smart play by him. Winter rebounding in the jungle a little bit. He will find his Blink Dagger pretty soon. Not with this camp, but a couple minutes from now. Ooh, a nice double stack. Actually, this should be enough for him to find his Blink Dagger. Of course, the pesky Mud Golem still being a nuisance. He's going to have to finish them off with the next Firefly, I believe. But all in all, feeling pretty good about himself, and he is going to be able to start initiating with this Lifestealer. Speaking of the Lifestealer, going for a bit of a race car build here. Phase Boots, Drum of Endurance, and the Orb of Venom. There's always going to be a movement speed advantage against his opponents, and this means he's going to be able to lock down everybody but the Puck or the Naga. The Puck, of course, has the Orb Phase Jaunt combo to get himself out of dodge, and the Naga Siren with that Song of the Siren, though currently at rank 1. We're going to see some movement trying to get the Haste Rune. Sharky out of position. Oh, will pick it up for himself. They lock him in with nukes and one more right click, and there she goes. Just a lot of deaths on the supports, to be honest. 1 death for the Veno, the Sand King, and the Crystal Maiden, as well as the Shadow Shaman. It's 2 deaths for the offlaner, 1 death for Bat Rider. In general, just a lot of kills across the board. Jay will find a ton of farm here. Actually not going for a Radiance, though. Going for the Drums of Endurance. Stampede away. Going for the Drums of Endurance instead of the Radiance build-up. I'm not sure how I feel about that one, but Jay just feels like he wants to be a little bit more active. He wants to move these illusions about, be a bit more of a nuisance. Winter coming in. No! Not going to be able to lasso him, and really there weren't the reinforcements there to make that worth their while anyways. Like if they had a TP or two, at most they could do was force the Song of the Siren, but they would not net themselves a kill. Diving past the tower, Jesse fast dropping low, Stampede on cooldown, 1 last right click, and XXO Soxes will be able to bring a kill, but infesting inside the creeps to try to get himself to safety. But NMA as well as Geo are ready as soon as that creep pops out. Lifestealer's rage cooldown should be off by now, but I don't think he has enough mana for both the rage and the TP. Fortunately, they're not that patient. They're not willing to wait around for the creep to die of its own volition, and he will just pop right back out with nearly full HP.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Sorry guys, delivering a few bans to help with your chat experience. Hopefully most of these perpetrators won't be seen in our Twitch chat again. But that being said, I am solo casting the game and there's no way that I can moderate chat while doing that. So in the end, you're going to get some spam one way or another. But hopefully a few of those will send the right message. Okay, back over to the action. Now that the moderation has been done to some extent, we're going to see a Smoke of Deceit solo on Winter. That's very interesting here. Nobody else has caught the Smoke of Deceit. There is no Napalm just yet. In fact, it's still on cooldown for 13 more seconds. But he's going to head over, give the Lifestealer a lift, and from here, I think that they will be able to get a kill. I mean, they have the blink up. It's not been seen by Mineski just yet, and they really haven't seen Winter's progress in the jungle. They can infer that it might be up soon, but they definitely don't know for sure that it is up now. But Smoke wearing low, and the Observer Ward in place for 15 more seconds. Gonna be outside the range of the Observer Ward when the smoke does expire, though. In the meantime, in the mid lane, big damage gonna come out, but it's just gonna be a pickup on the Venomancer. Stampede's a short enough cooldown that it's still worth their time, but they should try to follow through with a tier 1 tower. The strength of Mineski's lineup really comes in 5-man Dota. Naga Siren maybe not the best hero for 5-man Dota, but all 4 of the rest really are. They'll drop the Serpent Wards, they'll focus on the towers, and really until Sand King gets a blink and his epi, there's really nothing to worry about. Oh, in a bad spot, gonna get galed under the Firefly. The lasso was expended though. The Song of Siren is, oh no, too much damage over time. And the song is wasted, but they're going to try to hoof stomp, follow through. Great orb, great Dream Coil, as well as the Raining Rift. Yes, there is going to be a stun from Insidious C, but Winter is still locked in with this Dream Coil. Finally waits it out. Blink Dagger off cooldown. He will be able to escape, but at what cost? They lose their tier 1 tower. They lose 2 for 2 in the end. Committing the lasso to the Crystal Maiden. Winter is just showing how desperate he is for a kill right now, and they got a nice little pick off out of it. Took the Crystal Maiden out of the fight, but still using some good cooldowns. Mineski able to bounce back and get pick off on 2 really important heroes. Doesn't delay the armlet whatsoever, as far as I can tell. And it might be... No, there is no Gloves of Haste, so it does delay the armlet a tiny bit. But beyond that, it's mostly about just bringing down this OD, making sure that he can't use his Midas during his death timer, and finding a pick-off off-screen. That was a poorly positioned Sand King going up the ramp. He just got his Blink Dagger. I think he just bought it from the side shop. And at nighttime, lurking around, he really wasn't in the right place at the right time. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted by Twitch chat. I'm going to have to minimize it here just to make sure that I can focus on the game here. And we are going to see the Relic Naga. We are going to see the Radiance build up. She just wanted drums first to get that +9 to all stats. Make sure she's a little tanky, has enough mana to spam out her spells, and from there she will be able to do the Naga split push that we all know and hate and love and whatever, depending on your experience with Rat Dota most recently. But it is most interesting to see Ysera in such a bad state of affairs. You looked at that pick, the OD against the puck, and you got to say, oh, that's a guaranteed lane. That is him winning out on CS, and indeed he did. He came out on top as far as CS goes by almost 20 last hits, but was it really that valuable? You can look here, he's got his Midas, he's almost got a 4-staff, but all in all, he is just not looking nearly as strong as you would hope an OD would be. Interesting movement coming in from Orange. They're going to look for a Roche snipe here, and I think they can accomplish it. They've got the open wounds. We'll heal most of them up right here, right now, and yeah, they are going to be able to sustain through most of this damage, but the double damage rune is really what's allowing them to bring it down in a reasonable amount of time. Mineski don't really know what's going on. In the meantime, they're just going to kind of go for their slow push on the top tier 1, and they are going to be able to take the tier 1 tower for sure, but you look at this Roche, it's probably going to drop. Yeah, they use the Burrow Strike to pop the Lincolns, and there's that open wounds kicking in, and finally Roche will fall. 16.5 minutes. Not a bad timer considering you have essentially 0 Roche heroes. Like Lifestealer and Venomancer have some Roche potential, the rest have very little. But either way, they will take the Roshan. It will help them out tremendously as far as that golden experience deficit that they were experienced previously. But the tier 1 tower will still fall, and they have to worry about their control of the map. Actually, Winter coming in, sniping some creeps from the jungle, but at the same time, Naga Siren popping the Song of Siren, and Vizorin from the Bat Rider. Will the Radiance be enough? It doesn't look like it. Oh, Puck! Oh, huge snipe coming in! Geo with the Illusory Orb, setting up a beautiful kill here. That is just some tremendous play. Jumping in, getting that AoE off. That's perfectly the right way to deal with that situation. Is just have the massive mobility, some good AoE utility. And it wasn't even like panic buttons. It wasn't orb and then waiting rift. Please hit something. It was, I know where this guy's at. I got it covered. And they will bring him down. Very nicely done. So now you look at the deaths on the cores. Like I said, the kill score is relatively even. But look who's died. Once on the Lifestealer, twice on the Bat Rider, and 4 times on the Centaur. So Centaur has been taken out for the most part. But now that he's got his Blink, he's essentially set. Like, he needs a Blink Dagger to be really relevant. From there, everything's kind of luxury. You get the strength, you get more return damage. Ooh, Winter gonna go in with a lasso, but it's on an illusion! Oh! That is as sad as can be. So they have no lasso for this mid-fight. They do have Aegis, but here comes the Hoof Stomp. They silenced him. Here comes Insidious. A great Blink stun, but Puck turning around with the Illusory Orb. There's the Ether Shock. There's tons of damage, but is it enough? Sand King will fall, breaking the tether of Dream Coil. The timing was just not right on that one. And in the end, they get the tower. for trading it for the Sand King's life. So, not as bad as it could have been. Like, if they had a little bit more backup there, if they had the full Naga Siren ready to rumble, then that would have been a slaughter, really. Orange would have lost 2 or 3 heroes at least because they didn't have any cooldowns. But in the end, they walk away, they keep their Aegis intact, and they do get one tower under wraps. So it's their second tower of the game. And they have shown that they can really just pull a few punches, be ready to rumble at a certain time frame. But what we're really looking for to put them in a commanding position in this game is Insidious C's Blink Initiation. He's got level 7, he's got his Blink. He really is at a point where he can do so much work if he gets the right initiation. But you look at the Radiance now in Naga Siren, and it's actually really difficult to imagine if he's going to be able to get that Epi Blink off, or it's going to be an Epicenter and then suddenly your Blink's on cooldown due to Radiance damage, and you suddenly waste your ultimate. It's a big difference between those two things. Very binary, win or lose in those engagements. But they still have plenty of things going for them. Despite the fact that Naga Siren is getting big with the Radiance BOTs and drums, Xox does have a lot of potential on this Lifestealer. Right now, his Rage State nullifies everything that Mineski threw at him other than the Ensnare. And honestly, with the Sanj and Yasha, he might be set to just take this game away if he gets a little bit of extra backup from Ysera. But they need a couple picks on the back of Winter's Lasso. We'll see if they can manage it. For now, though, just looking at map control, we do see that the Dire were able to control this cliff quite effectively, but the Ancients are still warded up. Winter now pinging that out. They're going to have to get some sentries online to take care of that one. And an interestingly placed ward for Mineski, getting a nice spot where they're pushing on the top. Might as well get some good vision as well. A ward that will very infrequently be dewarded.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sorry guys, real quick, I'm going to get a mod for the Twitch chat for today so that we don't have to worry about your chat experience any longer if I learn my alphabet anytime soon. Okay, now I don't even know what his name is. So, wasting my time.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Anyways, back over to the action. Sorry about that. Just getting a little distracted here. We are going to see the Infest inside the Lifestealer. Ysera will TP back. They're going to hold this tier 2, killing off the wards. But they really are being pushed in on multiple fronts. And it looks like this tower is going to drop down. They have Fortify. It looks like they're going to commit here. Sand King coming in. Insidious C, is he going to start with the Blink? Yes, he's going to Blink Burrow, but only onto 1, and he gets locked in place. Insidious C is down for the count, but here comes Winter. The Nake's Palm coming through. Puck is going to get dropped down. No, the Face Ship! He's still alive, but one last right click, and he will fall. Jesse Vash does snipe Venomancer on the back end, but Ysera will deliver a few quick right clicks to clean that up. In the meantime, triple kill for Xox, as he is just running over his opponents. And that is going to be a 4 for 2 in the end, but they did get some great damage on the towers, dropping this one down into deny range. Not being denied just yet. And the mid lane is down to 530. So really, it depends on the game plan for Mineski. Are they trying to go for towers as Rat Dota with the Naga Siren, or are they trying to win fights? If they're trying to win fights, they're certainly not really following through with that objective, only picking off 2 supports there. But that being said, let's talk late game scalability. Batrider Lasso is a great late game spell, but Lifestealer's potential against a Naga long term isn't that substantial. Like, he'll get some great items, he'll get an Abyss up late. If he can figure out which Naga is the real one, great. He might be able to lock her down once, but with an Aegis or with a buyback, she's still going to be in the action, and Lifestealer doesn't have many great tools to deal with her. I mean, she's already sporting 14 armor, for crying out loud. Beyond that, the OD is really the thing that they need to get some huge farm on. Right now, Ysera is only sitting at 8,500 net worth. If he gets some mad farm, Arcane Orb does a huge amount of damage to the Naga Siren illusions. It does bonus damage to illusions, and here it is. Yeah, 300, going to be 400 damage per right click of pure damage, of course, on these illusions, which already take amplified damage. So you'll be able to clear out the Naga Siren illusions with a few quick right clicks, and that'll be pretty good for them. But the nuisance is that, you know, you could, as we've seen, Naga Siren can just keep ratting, keep spamming at these illusions, and even though you can clear them, your towers are still going to be chipped away. So they really need to make things happen right here and now. 24 minutes into the game, their Aegis has expired, but their resolve has not. Winter going in, smoked up with the Flaming Lasso available. Gonna go try to march down on bottom lane, but they don't have all that much vision. Now it's daytime. Now the Firefly is all the more effective, but they are going the wrong way, heading towards mid lane. And the smoke is going to dispel very soon, right into the creep wave. That's ugly. Slowly get a ward down. They get control with this gem, but they really haven't found anything. They're just essentially mass dewarding. Are they going to find Centaur, though? Coming in, looking for the vision. Dire don't see him. And Orange are going to come up empty-handed. Pinks come out on the top lane. It's going to be another TP back. That's annoying. I mean, they could try to go for a trade, but I really don't advise it. Although they need to be gung-ho about ending this game before, let's say, the 40-minute mark, the bottom line is that they can't afford to lose towers, because the second you lose your tier 2, Naga's going to be pushing on your tier 3, and we already see one dropping down. They didn't deny it, and they're now waiting for Roche, which won't spawn for another 40 seconds or so. So, it looks like it's going to be just a march up the mid lane for Orange, swooping in to try to defend on their top racks. Geometry Sight also on Mineski's side as Geo tries to catch out any wards here. There is actually a Sentry ward, but it's irrelevant whether they pick that up because it's not even in range of that unique ward position. Man, they are adamant about these pinks. Like, he just wants to farm. Soxus is like, please just let me go, drop me off. Cabby, take your fare and get out of here. Soxus really needs to catch up on farm. You look at his net worth, he's 11.5 grand, and it's good, but it's not good enough. He really needs that Abyssal very soon if he's going to have any late game prominence. Right now he's full out a mid game carry, and that's just, it's not going to foot the bill. It's great for killing off supports. He can kill the Shadow Shaman, the Crystal Maiden, maybe even the Puck pretty easily, but when it comes down to that Naga, they just have very little that can bring her down. She has the BOTs, the Song of the Siren. She has the solutions which just keep ratting away. And let's consider what they can do to cancel out that Song of the Siren. The OD's Prison is not going to be in range. That's a fact. Beyond that, the Burrow Strike's not going to be able to get in range. So really, all you're looking at, the only possible way to stop a TP away from a Naga with her ulti active is a long-range Flame Break. This spell has tremendous range. You can throw it out at the max distance and cancel her TP. Once you cancel it once, you pretty much have her in the bag. But just because you actually limit her from escaping doesn't mean that she's not ready to fight. She has some great potential damage output, especially if she goes for Diffusal Blade next. Right now, running Radiance, Lincoln Sphere, Manta Style. Or sorry, Yasha, to be Manta Style later on. But for the moment, Jay is just big. Just the biggest carry on the map by far, and is just continuously pushing in these lanes where there isn't really any hope for Orange to get a really good snipe off. They're backed into a corner. They're waiting for Roche to spawn. They have great Roche control, but they don't really have that great of a handle on the rest of the map. Three Force Staffs up for Orange. We'll see how well that will handle against the... if they're going to use it against the Sheepstick that's going to come out for Geo very shortly, or if they're going to use it to really make sure that Winter can pull somebody out of position. 3 Force Staffs really can set up a lasso to pull somebody completely out of position, but it depends if they can use it offensively or just defensively, using it on a disabled lifestealer to get him out of a bad spot. Gun has been loaded once again. They're looking to burst open on
regeneration.
But we're really just seeing it kind of calm down for the moment. I'm trying to not, you know, talk your guys' ears off about the same exact thing, but the status quo really hasn't changed in this game. Radiant picks up the tower in mid. They're going to be able to get that no problem at all, but I mean, they really don't have that much going for them as far as breaking the base just yet. They really need to find a successful team fight, and it's easier said than done as Sankin gets more and more levels. Insidious C, to be fair, is not even level 11 yet. He's still level 8. So, the ratting will continue. I believe this is going to go for a very long time, guys. This is going to be a pretty long game here. So, I'll try to take solace in the little things here, because there are going to be either a ton of things happening within the next like 2 or 3 minutes with this next Roche fight, or it's going to be a very long game. Naga will be picking up her Manta style next, it looks like. Yeah, full recipe coming out for her. And that is a great pickup for her, because, again, Ysera's illusion clear is purely single target, so the more illusions the better in that case. On top of that, it could dispel some nice things like open wounds, as well as confuse the Batright a little more. He initiates in, he targets the Flaming Lasso. If you're quick on the draw with that Manta style, you won't necessarily disjoint the ability itself, but he'll lose his targeting, and it will be more difficult for him to really be on point in picking off this Naga. OD is going to be able to bring that Shadow Shaman, as he was just doing some real shenanigans here with the split pushing, but it's just the opening they were looking for to take this tier 2, and without any tier 2s on the mid or the bottom, Dire kind of cedes their Roach control a little bit. They still have Firefly, they can still see into the pit, but as far as feeling confident in taking any Roach engagements, they just don't have that reinforcement aspect that they had before. So the device now finished on Geo. He's going to be looking for some pretty huge initiations very soon. If they can get a fight where they don't even have to worry about the Lifestealer's Hex, that's going to be immense. But like I said, they have 3 Force Staves to play defensively against that. He can always face the direction he wants to, be sent the other direction. And in the meantime, of course, OD has been able to farm up his, so a lot of scaling with that. It's not just the disable here, guys. It is the Arcane Orb itself, dealing damage based on his mana pool, and as well his ultimate, dealing damage based on a difference of intelligence. You look at the int on these heroes, Puck can compete pretty directly. You look at him and he's just shy of 100 intelligence himself, but compared to the OD, who is running significantly more, wow, that is incredible actually. That's 130 intelligence. So he's going to be at the very least draining a lot of mana from the Puck and dishing out a huge amount of damage to his opponents across the board. Pretty slow for the moment, though. It's just going to be illusions play all over. Actually, like, surprised that Jay hasn't been as active in clearing the jungle as he could be. Clearing out these camps would be pretty easy pickings, but focusing right now on scouting, harassing a little bit, and pushing out the top and the mid lane as much as possible with this Radiance. And we'll have to think of his next item pickups. Of course, he already has the travels, so he doesn't really have to worry about his item slots. Selling off this Stout Shield, I'm assuming he's going to go for something like a Butterfly, but there have been other interesting pickups in the past. Their Diffusal 2 would be good for his single target damage output. But I mean, there's Daedalus will help his late game damage output. But right now he's pretty much got all the items he needs. It's kind of what he wants to go for now. And the fact is, he can be pushing right outside their tier 3s, and first of all, they don't even know it because of the fact that there are so many illusions out here, but on top of that, he's just in really no danger. The only thing that could possibly happen is that Flame Break, and that canceling the TP during a song is pretty unlikely, unless Winter is perfectly in position to thwart the endeavors there. So looking at some graphs real quick, we do see that is a decent advantage for Mineski at the moment, looking at 6,500 gold and about 4,000 experience the other way, actually. So Orange is doing better in experience, but that cash money just flowing the way Mineski is. You see the net worth on their Naga Siren is pretty insane. But eventually she will be 6-slotted and has to kind of do some work. She's not really a Divine Rapier type hero. Illusions don't benefit from that at all. So when we talk about hyper late game, the 6 slots come through pretty quickly. Diffusal 2, Daedalus. If there was evasion to worry about, they'd go MKB. But really, just get some good stats up, and from there, put pressure out from all angles. We do see they got the loaded gun up. They're ready to rumble with this lasso. But at best, they can pick a Crystal Maiden. She just bought her Blink Dagger. She just spent all of her gold. So even if she gets picked off, you know, she's dead for a very brief period of time before she's back in the action. In the meantime, they're losing this Roche. It's going to be Anime and Geo to two-man this Roche. With Jay, of course, just outside the pit. But, oh, Shadow Shaman, why? He was trying to kite Roche, and Geo wasn't tanking it for him. He kept on backing out and backing out, and I hate when people do this. Of course, we do that gank attempt I was talking about on the top lane. They will pick off the Crystal Maiden, but my goodness, was that awkward for the Shadow Shaman. In the end, Aegis will go out for Naga Siren, so she'll be sitting on this item set for until the immortality expires. Might sell the drums for that butterfly, but beyond that, pretty well set on the item slots. But the big deal is that they're taking it away from Orange. It's less so that the Naga has the immortality, and more so that Xox's doesn't. Now going to try to pop the Song of the Siren. I thought that was for an engage, but if you consider Mineski's positioning right now, there's no way that they could have followed through with that. So it's simply just to guarantee a disengage here. And he'll go back to farming. Farm, farm, farm. Back to the old school Chinese way. So we have some pressure coming in from the top lane. Puck always pushing there. Interesting positioning from Jesse Bash. We haven't really seen much from him since the laning stage in one or two team fights. But he does bring a lot to the table here. With the Stampede, with the Hoof Stomp. Sure, he's not stacked with like 2 or 3 hearts, but he's still able to contribute a lot with these stuns. However, it's still a pretty easy pick if Winter wanted to jump on that. The one thing that they're worried about right now is BOT action from the Naga herself. And Jay comes in at any point in time with these Boots of Travels, and it's not just a turnaround, it's racks, 100%. Jay playing very aggressively here, going right up on Ysera, right under the tower. He has his Aegis, not going to get hit by the Burrow Strike, and yeah, this is giving them openings to push in from the top lane and the bottom. Baiting with Geo right now with 3 smoked heroes right behind him. We'll see if they take the bait. He blinks in for the ward. He is going to get last. No, he's just going to get an Ace Bomb. But here comes a Hoof Stomp. Winter taking some big hits. Mineski coming in. Geo, it is going to be enough damage to bring down Winter. No. They keep him alive. He bottles, and he gets defensively imprisoned, but there is Jay to try to finish it. No, the blink out. He tried to lock him in with the Song of the Siren, but didn't pop it in time. And it's going to be Winter to blink away. They will get the Hex up on the Lifestealer. Another great defensive imprison from Ysera. And from here, although they still have the Aegis, they haven't really broken them as much as they'd like to. Orange are still holding strong. Gonna see a lasso come through, 4-stack to the high ground. It is gonna be the Hex to come through from OD, and that will secure the kill and pick up one of the 2 gems that are on the field. So both in the hands of the Dire right now. And that does give them some map control if they can actually get out of their friggin' base, but right now Jay doesn't seem to be wanting that to happen anytime soon. Gold just is, at this point, like, he'll buy, as soon as his Aegis expires, he'll buy up 2 items and still have buyback. Like, he has so much farm right now at a CS total of 488. Jay is just doing some tremendous work here on the Naga Siren. Aegis is at halftime right now, reclaiming 3 minutes. But what is Shadow Shaman doing? A very aggressive play here. They really are just chipping away at these towers. It seems like they care more about the structural damage than they do about Orange's economy. They're happy to feed OD more and more gold with these Serpent Wards. And that's actually going to hand him a BKB. That recipe is his now because of that play from NMA. So Black King Bar up for OD. All the benefits of Rage that I was talking about in the draft now apply to Ysera as well. Doesn't really have to worry about the prolonged disables of Crystal Maiden and Shadow Shaman. Just needs to make sure he doesn't get hexed outright by Rasta or the Puck.
Regeneration.
Alright, Jay not in the best of spots. We already see that Winter has an eye on him here. Gonna go Flame Lasso, but they didn't even have a chance to pop the Lincolns. They'd have to 4-staff him, then lasso him, but they look like we're going to BKB. Are they gonna? No, they hit the wrong one. They illusion the wrong one. I was talking, theory crafting a little bit about how to break a Naga Siren that's trying to escape, And the best way to do it would be a BKB hero walking in with a disable. But now it's going to be Jesse Vash to initiate. Tons of damage coming into Lifestealer. His armlet is up, but the ensnare is in. And that's not going to be enough damage for Lifestealer to survive. Wow, they backed away. Waiting for the rage to expire and then just nuking him down. I think that, honestly, Naga could have gone toe-to-toe with him. And this is a freaking Naga Siren with a huge amount of right-click damage between her illusions. But all the same, just playing it smart, keeping HP up on the Naga as he was still locked in the ensnare. But I will highlight on one thing real quick, because their ensnare is only 2 seconds long. He actually is prioritizing stats over his ensnare, and you know, he hasn't really used it that much to this point, so not the most questionable decision, but it's still interesting to note. Meantime, Sand King finds his level 11. He's going to be blinking in for the Burrow Strike just to pop the Lingots, though, and they can't get in range to actually lock her down. Here's Winter, though. Oh, if there was a BKB on Winter, he could have picked off the Naga right here, but instead, they just delay it. They play a little bit of the Valiant build here, getting tons of damage, getting a free melee Rex, and of course, the Naga Siren gets out at the same time. Orange are feeling so bad about this situation right now. Like, they have to worry not only from the rat of the Naga Siren, but of the Serpent Wards and the entire team of Mineski because of this song. You go too ham on this Naga, you're going to be put to sleep for that full duration, and that certainly hurts your potential to come back from this game. Right now, back to the graphs, a huge advantage for Mineski, but experience still lies in the hands of Orange, and they need to really put it to use with this Sand King. Like, if he can get a great Epicenter off, the Aegis is down, they really do have the potential to fight, but you always have to consider that this Naga Siren has buyback. This Naga Siren is so fed right now. Heart of Tarrasque actually got picked off here. I didn't notice that, but finding a snipe on the courier on the Secret Shop a couple minutes ago, I didn't actually notice that there was something so huge on it. Still, unless the Naga Siren dies, I really can't say that the heart is the deal breaker here. The illusions, of course, aren't as tanky as they could be, but yeah, it's not a CD, Captain's Draft Invitational Fata situation, so to speak. Handicap match. No Heart of Tarrasque. Anyways, they're just trying to farm as many BKBs as they can to try to deal with this song. They have the Rage and the Lifestealer. They have one BKB up on OD, but until Winter gets his, I really don't think that they feel great about their fighting potential. BKB is like the thing they need right now, and it's not. The game's not been too good to them in that regard. The illusions just push in, put a little damage on, and of course, with the melee racks down, they're continuously losing their backdoor protection to this often pushing creep wave. Looking at roach time, we're going to be seeing it in about 40 seconds when it is going to be spawning. Winter already keeping an eye on the situation, but we'll see if he can actually find a pick. He has a double damage, he has a gem. Really, the only thing that he really has to worry about is that Lincoln Sphere. No Abyssal up on the Lifestealer, though. He went for a Mjolnir, and that will increase his damage in the fights, but it doesn't increase his lockdown to try to bring down this Naga. The big thing that it will help with, of course, is dropping down the illusions. And that's a pretty big deal, in my opinion. I mean, these things, they hit hard. They're all of the Naga Siren's damage, essentially, and they're even stronger now that the Butterfly and the Heart of Tarrasque are online for Jay. Another movement from Jesse Vash in this tree line. He really likes the spot here. This ward, you can't even see it, but it's on the map, just barely, and it is a way to scout out if Winter is trying to go for a high ground flank. They'll be there waiting in the wings, essentially. They've got 3 Blink Daggers, and they're just, yeah, laying the trap. Saying, yeah, this is a lowly Crystal Maiden farming all by herself. Not going for the Lumi bait, though. Jay, the front line, and Snare should hit on Venomancer to stop the TP, and there's the right click to get a free pick. But Winter on the back line, we are going to see a BKB pop out from Iseri. He's going to come in to try to bring in Jesse Vash. He's gone, and Puck is going to pop the Ghost Scepter to try to get out dodge here, but gets cheaped up. No jaunt for you, is stampeded away with the buyback of the Centaur. Is it enough to get him away? The Blink Spam. He's out for a moment, pops the Dream Coil, sheeps the Sand King, but let it go, let it snow. There's going to be the Crystal Maiden doing some damage, but not enough. But more importantly, Jay is in the base right now. Lifestealer in pursuit. The Song of the Siren comes out, not going to affect the Rage state. but that's not enough to actually bring down Jay. In fact, the illusion's still doing work. The tier 3 drops, and look at that stomp onto Ysera. The Sand King got his epicenter off, but really isn't doing anything. They're almost dead to Radiance alone. 40 HP on the OD. The Radiance tick will kill him, and with no OD, there's no chance to hold against this Naga Siren. Puck here, dueling it out with XXO. We're going to see the hoof stomp. No, it's on cooldown, but juking away from the lifestealer. Armor toggle, he's going to survive. And Ysera's coming in to clean it up. Mineski, oh, Geo will blink up here top, but oh, great ultimate from OD, dealing the damage and sending the puck right back down to the grave. But you look at the base. You lull at their base because no matter how many kills they get outside, they've lost 5 racks. Looking to kill off Jay. Can they even bring him down? Right-clicking down, he kills off the lifestealer. Here's Ysera to deal some damage, and they will bring him down once. But this whole frickin' time, he's had buyback. And they have 1 rack standing. Oh my gosh, this game. Jay just being the nuisance that we know a Naga Siren can be, pops off all the illusions, and what can they do? They don't have epicenter. The Mjolnir right clicks is all they can really do. But he songs Ysera and actually uses the illusions to bring down the melee racks. What a play from Jay! They will take all 6 racks. Mega creeps up for Mineski, and Orange are just dumbfounded. They can't do anything right now. Locked in their base. Mega creep's gonna be just battering at all their doors in moments time. It gets left for Dota 2. Oh, the Naga Siren is such a pesky thing to deal with if you can't shut her down early, and what happened was by far the opposite of shutting her down early. They forced Snap to pop the Lincolns, but she's just a little too quick on her feet to get in range for that short-range lasso. But I gotta remind you guys, down on bottom lane, the laning phase for Naga was literally 1 versus 0. Winter rotated into the jungle 2 times over, a lot of travel time from lane to jungle to lane to jungle. And in the meantime, Jay just farmed up a Storm, got drums early, then went into Radiance and still got it before most Nagas finish it without drums. They finally get the BKB on Winter, the thing they've been looking for all game long to actually try to bring him down, but it's too little too late. They'll try to hold. Mjolnir is a great item against Mega Creeps, and of course the Feast will just munch on their HP pool, but if they weren't able to hold their racks without having to worry about Mega Creeps, you're darn sure they won't be able to hold their tier 4s with them. Still, buybacks are down. They get the lasso off onto NMA. They will pick off the Shadow Shaman without worrying about the wards. The illusions, though, picking off a tier 4, and look how tanky they are with this heart. They're actually persisting against the lifesteal. He's swinging away, but he can only hit 1 at a time. The lightning proc's actually not doing much at all against that Heart of Tarask, and now it's the Blink Nakes. Might be a time for the all-in play. Jump on the Naga, kill the Naga without buyback. But Roche is a chicken, and we're going to see it drop down quite readily. Cheese and Aegis hit the deck. We'll see who picks up what. We're seeing Courier Dota now, 7 slots on the Naga Siren, 6 in her inventory, and an AC on the Courier. Can switch it out whenever she wants to hit the buildings. AC is... Oh, that's it! Oh, that is beautiful. Switching in the AC for the illusions. The illusions have Assault Cross. The main Naga Siren has Lincolns. And that's because of the Courier play. 7 slotted Naga Siren coming in, 35,000 net worth. And just look at this cheekiness from the Song of Siren. Saying, okay, you're disabled, lock you down, while my illusions wreck your base. Wisely keeping her song outside of range of the Ancient, and that's going to be the game. The end goal graph is 20,000 in favor of Mineski, despite the experience being 7,500 the way of Orange. In the end, it's a full-out carry from Jay. 36,000 net worth on the Naga Siren. Amazing play with 7 slots using the Courier. I love the usage of the Song of the Siren there. Making it so that they can disable the heroes without disabling the buildings, and the illusions just go to town. Honestly, Orange just didn't have an answer for it. They kind of did once Winter had the BKB, but they had Mega Creeps by then. It was too little too late. Really, you didn't see the Sand King come into play with the Epicenter whatsoever, and the Lifesteal and OD weren't enough by themselves. Some very interesting action early on set the tone for this game, but once Jay found that Radiance, it just became a full stalemate that Orange couldn't push through. In the end, 47 minutes, 20 seconds concludes our game here. Mineski advanced forward. Orange eliminated from the single elimination, best of 1. And that means we'll be seeing, I believe, Arrow versus Mineski in the best of 3 in the near future. This is, once again, the Western Digital Dota 2 Pro Series. Brought to you, of course, by Western Digital. In this format, we have concluded the quarterfinal round, eliminating Orange, and advancing Mineski to the best of 3. And, of course, they have the chance then to go to the best of 5 for the full prize for Series 1. Wow, what a game. Very, very interesting, and I was very happy to be able to cast it. I'm sorry that I was so distracted early on with the chat. In the end, I just kind of abandoned it. Whether your chat experience was good, those that bet on Mineski got to be happy one way or another. Easy rares, right, guys? But wow, such carry from Jay. Some amazing play from the Southeastern Asian Sea, and then can't wait to see what they come up with for their next match in the Western Digital Dota 2 Pro Series. Quick shout out to Western Digital. Of course, they're footing the bill for the tournament, so check them out. Of course, check out their products. They do storage, so hard drives. They give you the ultimate reliability from the trusted name in storage. And specifically, they're highlighting here with this tournament the Western Digital Black, which is designed for gaming and performance, and just bringing you guys some awesome potential with your machine. So you're shopping for hardware, pick it up. Other than that, thanks for tuning in to the Western Digital I'm out. I'm tongue-tied at this point. Some amazing play, and thanks for tuning in. Dota Talk TV 2 for the Twitch live stream if you want to follow me and hear more from me in the near future. Otherwise, the best way to hear and see what I'm broadcasting is going to be on Twitter. Twitter.com/Blazecasting. Follow me there or tweet at me to critique me there, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Interesting match, but unfortunately the only one we have for today. Just this best of 1. It will conclude it here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have a good one.